Hey guys, it's Julian from Pathetic Fallacy. I hope you're doing wonderfully. Today I wanted to make a special vlog at 8:30 in the morning. On that early morning grind. It feels good. Anyway, I wanted to make a special vlog and talk about how we started. A little behind the scenes things like that, how we started, how our team started, who does our mixing, who does our photos, how we got all those people together. And we're able to get a nice product out to you guys. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So the very first thing I wanted to talk about was how we got our name, Pathetic Fallacy. So I was a junior in high school, and I was sitting in my English class. I don't really remember the context. I believe we were studying Macbeth by Shakespeare. I heard my teacher say the name, and I was just like, hey, that sounds pretty cool. And I looked it up because I don't remember, I hadn't remembered what he said it meant, obviously. So I looked it up, and it was the personification of nature. The crying clouds, the weeping trees, or whatever you want to say. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool meaning. And even if you don't know the meaning, I feel like it sounds a little cool. So that was originally going to be the title for my acoustic project that I was putting together at the time. This was way before Pathetic Fallacy was even thought of as a band. And then the acoustic project never wound up coming to fruition. So once we got to talking about names within the band, I said, hey, I have this thing, and then everyone was like, that's pretty cool, and then we wound up rolling with Pathetic Fallacy. So how did we start? What happened was I wrote the majority of To the Sky on my computer. It was about like 90% of the way there, but I wasn't satisfied with some of the guitar parts. All this is on the pathfallacyband.com website, by the way. You can read about this part of the video, but just listen to me talk about it because it's more entertaining. Anyway, I was unsatisfied with the guitar parts like I just said, and I was like, hey, I know Louis, he goes to my music school. It could be really cool if I ask him to get involved in this because I think he'd really like it. We were in a metal cover band together, so I knew he was into the music, and I heard him shred his brains out multiple times. So I was like, yeah, man, he seems like a good person for the job. So I talked to him, and he was down for it, and he came over. It was a really hot summer day upstairs in my room where there's no air conditioning, and we had a fan. But we tracked some leads. We tracked some nice diminished sweeps, I believe that's what it was, and it turned out great. We both loved it, and we were like, hey, we should get Taz on board with this. And Taz was the drummer for the cover band, and they're both still in this cover band, by the way, which is kind of funny. I'm not, but they are. Anyway, we were like, we should get Taz on board with this, and then we talked to him, and he was like, yeah, man, I'll try it. And he came over. And he listened to the program drums that I had gotten. He dug them. He made a couple different changes, nothing too crazy. And we decided that the song was cool. And we were like, yeah, guys, we should make this a thing. We should be a band now. We should start writing lots of songs. And that's exactly what we did. For a few months, just the three of us, we wrote a solid 5 songs, including To the Sky. And it was really great. It was between end of June and the end of August. We wrote the New Year's tapes and then a couple other songs that are going to be on this EP. And then after that, we wound up writing the extra songs that are going to be on this 5-song EP that's coming out soon. It's called Regicide, by the way. I don't know if we've publicly said that anywhere other than our website, but moving on. We got lots of songs, and we were like, we should start playing out, we should start doing that whole thing. And we tried. It was, we had a couple issues trying to find a second guitarist. We found 2. Neither of them worked out. We also had a little issues finding the bassist that was the right fit. And we eventually did, because Louis knew Matt Diguiseppe. And we were like, hey man, well, not we, he was like, hey man, we got this band, here's the songs, you want to check them out? We'd love to have you play. And he came in to a practice. He learned the songs ridiculously quickly, super hardworking dude, and the rest is history. He's our bass player now, and we're one little happy family. Oh god. So then what happened was we recorded our 5-song EP that's coming out. That went great. So we really had to cram a lot into a not so large amount of time, but it worked out anyway. It didn't even matter. We didn't love the mix that we got back from that engineer, so what we decided to do was have the original plan was for me to mix it, and I was like, okay. So I got the tracks back from the engineer. I did the editing, and I had never edited anything before. So then by the time that happened, I was learning as I was doing. So it took me a super long time as a result. And then I finished, and I was just like, I don't even want to slightly mix this. Like, I have no interest in doing that. So then I contacted Dobromir Vasilev. Now, how did I meet Dobromir? Well, funny story, so not really that funny, actually. We were both enrolled in Nail the Mix, which was a monthly paid mixing school online. Check it out if you're into producing rock or metal. It will change your life. Anyway, we were both enrolled in that. And I don't remember how exactly we met. They had a Facebook group, so it must have been through that. But we decided to do a couple YouTube covers together.
Can you hear the silence? Can you see the dark? If love was a crime, then we would be criminals, locked up for life.
I eventually quit because I wanted to focus on writing and doing stuff with Pathetic Fallacy. But he kept going. And he got a lot better. He was already good from the get-go, but he got even better. And I kept listening to his covers that he was putting out, and I was like, yeah, man, like, we're looking for someone to mix this EP. It would be really great if you'd be willing to give it a go. And I was already sending him demos every once in a while, because he's always been really cool, and he's always been really enthusiastic about our project because he's heard our songs, and he was like, yeah, man, I'd love to hear some demos from that. And I was like, yeah, dude, totally. And so I'd send it to him, and he would always be like, yeah, that's so awesome, blah, 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 blah. That's not what he sounds like at all. So eventually it got to the point where I was just like, yeah, man, we're looking for someone to mix this thing. If you'd be down to help us out, that'd be super cool. We're waiting on a test mix from one other person. So if you would like to toss us one, you know, we'd be super happy to hear it. And he was like, yeah, totally, of course. So that happened. He gave us, I think it was like 2 days before he gave us a test mix. He works ridiculously fast. And the other one that we got from the one other person that I mentioned wasn't there. So we were just like, yeah, man, like, the job is yours if you want it. And he was like, hell yeah. So we went forward with him, and it was a really awesome decision because, like I said, he works ridiculously fast, and he got us a final product within such a small amount of time. It was insane. So we got the mixes back. We were super happy with them. And then we said, hey, we gotta get mastering done, because we didn't get mastering done on the New Year's tapes. And it's something that I think would have helped out the whole project a little bit, but that's in the past now, whatever. We decided to get a mastering engineer for this. And funny enough, the mastering engineer that we got was recommended to us by the mixing engineer that we didn't end up going with. But that's fine. That was Mike from Rogue Planet Mastering, who ended up doing that for us. He's an enormous discography. Maybe I'll put like a little screen cap of me scrolling through it, or I'll put his website right here. Go check him out if you need mastering work. He's your dude. He's a well-oiled machine. His website is insane. You just upload your tracks, and he gets them to you within I don't want to make any guarantees, but for us it was, I think it was like 2 weeks, maybe less. It might have been less. And we didn't have any notes. We didn't have any revisions. We were just like, yeah, man, this sounds awesome. Everything just sounded so much more glued together. Louder, obviously, and just sounded really tight. And we were like, yeah, man, this sounds awesome. We don't really even have anything we want to say. And we paid him, and that was that. So while we were getting all the mixing and mastering and audio stuff figured out, we realized we were pretty visually inept. We didn't have any pictures. We didn't really have anything visual except for album art, which I'm going to talk about later. But we wanted photos, and we were like, hey, who should we get to do this? And Taz threw out his wonderful longtime friend, Chloe Brenna, to be the person for the job, and we wound up checking out her work. I believe she said this was her first ever real shoot that wasn't live. She was a live photographer. She still is, obviously. But we gave her a shot, and she killed it. It was awesome. Pictures are on our website, pathfallacyband.com, and we were just like, hell yeah, and then we wound up using her pictures, and I'm sure we're going to be taking plenty more pictures with her in the future. So let's go back to something I mentioned before, which was album art. I love our album art. I think we all do. It looks really great, and it's because it's done by a ridiculously talented artist named Trevor McKeon. We've been friends since first grade. He's always been into drawing. He was always doodling some stuff, and he goes to school for animation. So I was like, hey, no better guy for the job, right? I don't even think I gave him an idea for the New Year's tapes. I think I just said the context of what was going on, and he just did something, and it turned out really awesome. We all liked it, and the rest is history, as per usual. And yeah, he's a super talented guy. Go check out his stuff on Instagram and all that jazz. But now he's currently working on album art for the Regicide EP, and you know, we threw a bit of a challenge at him, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it comes out. I think it's going to be really awesome, and I think you guys are going to dig it too. It's quite a bit out there, but nevertheless, I think it's going to be really cool. So yeah, that's about it, I believe. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone. I sure hope I'm not. It's kind of crazy to me how almost everyone except for you know, Rogue Planet Mastering were people that we already knew. We didn't really do a whole lot of new networking. We didn't really do a whole lot of looking for people. Everything kind of just fell into our laps, which is something that doesn't usually happen. So it's a pretty beautiful thing. Super grateful for that. Anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. Hope you dug this. Subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. Okay, peace. See you in the next video. Bye.